From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
Welcome into WRTV News at Noon. I'm Nicole Griffin. Lauren Casey has the afternoon off. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is standing by. And Todd, what a beautiful afternoon to get outside, exercise, anything you want to do, really.
Yeah, it really is, Nicole. For one, it's warm in most locations. Two, the humidity is not all that bad. And three, the sun is shining in most locations. The one location where it's a little more cloudy is up to the north. And as a result, you can see the temperatures are a lot cooler there in northern locations. 72 in Peru, 74 in Tipton. But where you're in the sunshine, temperatures are in the 80s. It's 83 right now in Indy, 84 in Bloomington, Bedford at 72. But I'm not quite sure that temperature gauge is calibrated correctly. It should be a lot warmer down there in Lawrence County as well. Here's the sunshine in Bloomington. What a great day to be walking around campus or anywhere, honestly, across central Indiana. I mentioned the clouds. You see them moving out, though, in northern locations. So if you were running a little bit cooler where I pointed out those temperatures, these clouds are moving out and you too will see your temperatures jump very quickly here throughout the afternoon. The storm track today is far enough to our north that we have no rain in the forecast going forward throughout the remainder of the afternoon. It's a sun-filled day for us all the way until sunset, where temperatures today will top off anywhere between about 85 and 90 degrees depending on where you are. Tomorrow marks the return to more seasonable temperatures. We'll talk about that, Nicole, in more detail for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. New COVID-19 cases are up, according to the state health department. Here is a look at the latest numbers. 720 new cases were reported today. That increase was expected in part because of an increase in the number of people tested. 17 additional COVID-19 deaths were also reported. We are still working to find out whether a halt to a COVID-19 vaccine trial will impact research happening here in Indiana. AstraZeneca says it has stopped global trials after a volunteer in Britain suffered an unexplained illness. The drug company said the halt to the trials is a standard precaution. This is the same vaccine in which the Indiana University School of Medicine was set to be a part of phase 3 trials here in the U.S. That's the last phase before a vaccine could be approved by the federal government. AstraZeneca says independent experts will review the data before the trials can resume. Governor Holcomb will hold his weekly COVID-19 news conference this afternoon. We still have more than 2 weeks to go before the current stage of the governor's back on track plan and his statewide mandatory mask order expire. You can watch the update from the governor and other state officials live starting at 2:30 here on WRTV. You can also watch it at WRTV.com and on the WRTV Facebook page. Hiring Hoosiers continues to highlight job opportunities coming to central Indiana, as well as those that are already here. Today, a company that makes tools says it will build a new tool service hub in Greenwood. Milwaukee Tool says it is leasing a 150,000 square foot building on South Tech Drive. The company says the building will feature tool repair and warehousing space. Milwaukee Tool says it expects to hire more than 450 people at the Greenwood facility over the next 5 years. They expect to open the new service hub by March of next year. Amazon is now officially hiring workers for its new facility that's coming to Hancock County. Amazon announced the new Greenfield Fulfillment Center back in February, and the company now says it has more than 800 full-time positions to fill. Pay starts at $15 an hour, and Amazon says you must have a high school diploma or equivalent and be at least 18 years old to apply. We have information on those jobs at our website, hiringhoosiers.com. And a reminder now, Kroger is holding a job fair today. They're looking to hire more than 150 people to work at stores here in central Indiana. There are openings at 2 stores in Indianapolis, 1 in Carmel, 3 locations in Fishers, and 2 in Westfield. Open positions include pickup clerks, bistro clerks, meat cutters, cake decorators, overnight clerks, and even more. The job fair runs until 3 this afternoon at the Kroger Training Center in Indianapolis. Even with the new job activity and more people going back to work, there are fears from some that another round of layoffs could be on the way. In March, when most of the country shut down, some companies had to either lay off or furlough their employees, and that could be happening again. A study from Cornell University shows 1/3 of those who went back to work during the pandemic have now been laid off again. And some workers say their employers have warned them about future furloughs or layoffs.
The problem is that you get an echo, right? So if you have a resurgence in layoffs, you have a decrease in spending that creates more contraction on the part of businesses, which creates more layoffs, right? So the question is, when can you put a floor under this spiraling situation? And it is a classic economic spiral.
Experts like Alpert believe a vaccine or another stimulus package are two things that could help keep businesses from letting people go. President Trump is facing new criticism today after the Justice Department asked to take over his defense in a defamation lawsuit. That lawsuit was filed by a woman who says Trump raped her more than 2 decades ago. ABC's Inez de la Cuetara tells us if the request is granted, taxpayers will be paying for the president's defense.
Experts say the move is unprecedented. The Justice Department asking a New York federal judge for permission to step in to replace President Trump's private legal team with DOJ lawyers in a high-profile defamation lawsuit. In its court filing, the DOJ argues President Trump was acting in the scope of his official role as president when he accused author E. Jean Carroll of lying about her claim that Donald Trump forcibly raped her more than 2 decades ago in a dressing room at Bergdorf Goodman's department store.
Walked in, and the minute I was in there, he shut the door and pushed me up against the wall and bang, banged my head on the wall and kissed me. It was so shocking.
The president has repeatedly denied the allegations, telling The Hill, "She's not my type."
I have no idea who she is, none whatsoever.
Those denials, along with the president's claim that Carroll was lying about the alleged rape, is what prompted her defamation lawsuit. The DOJ now facing criticism for getting involved in the president's personal matters. If accepted by the judge, the Justice Department's view that the president should be represented by the federal government would mean Trump would win the case, as this is a defamation suit, and the federal government and its officers cannot be sued for defamation in the performance of official duties. Carroll is seeking to have Trump sit for a deposition and provide a DNA sample. And with just 55 days to go until the election, the move could prevent any potentially embarrassing details from being disclosed. Carroll writing the president will do everything possible, including using the full powers of the federal government to block discovery from going forward in my case. This comes as Carroll has been writing a weekly column in The Atlantic profiling other women who've accused Trump of sexual assault before he became president. Trump has denied their allegations. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
Inez, thank you. The election will be here before you know it. And next, how you are just one click away from everything you need to know about how and where to cast your vote. Todd.
And Nicole, we've been on the warm side of things for several days in a row, including a 90-degree high temperature yesterday, potentially going to get there once again today. But you can see off to our northwest, cooler temperatures are going to start to head in our direction. In fact, you don't have to go too far to the north to find temperatures in the 60s in Chicago. We'll talk about the cooling trend that's heading our way coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
The general election is less than 2 months away. WRTV is working for you, sharing information and resources to help you exercise your right to vote. Today, we're showing you what Marion County is doing to make the process easier for voters. Our Cornelius Hawker shows that if you have questions about casting your ballot, the answers are likely just a click away.
Jackson Cloyd is going to vote in November.
If you want to have a say in things, if you want things that you value to be brought up in the world, then you vote.
He wishes more people, especially those who are young like him, would understand the importance of voting.
There's not going to be any change unless, obviously, socially things happen, but also legislatively.
But Jackson's aware some folks want to vote, but don't necessarily know how. That's why the Vote Indy website was created.
It talks about vote by mail, just general planning. It was a really detailed map.
While I watched, Jackson navigated the website himself for the first time. It lays everything out for those looking to cast their ballot, whether it's making sure you're registered or making a plan to vote in person or through the mail. A map shows you every election day voting center in the county, so you can find one that's convenient for you. The biggest issue is getting this information to the people who actually need it.
Even if younger voters don't always watch the news, maybe their family members do. So, like if my dad saw this and he'd be like, oh, hey, check out this website. If you don't know how to vote, this is going to show you.
If that's not the type of thing your family usually talks about, Jackson says look to your friends who are civically engaged. More than likely, they'll be using social media to share voting information you can use, like the Vote Indy website. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
Cornelius, thank you. And the most important date you need to know is October 5th. That is the deadline to register to vote in the November election. Some customers say their gift card grief is no more. Next, how WRTV Investigates got results for them after the closure of a downtown spa. We'll be right back. Customers of a downtown spa are finally getting some answers. Studio 2000 on Monument Circle closed for good, citing the impact of COVID-19 and downtown looting. Many customers had unused gift cards and could not contact Studio 2000 to figure out what to do. That's when WRTV Investigates Kara Kenny got involved. Kara found out how consumers are getting some resolution and what you can do if the same thing happens to you.
Studio 2000 Salon and Day Spa shut its doors on August 7th. Some of their customers reached out to us asking what they should do about their unused gift cards. Since our story aired last month, we're now hearing that those customers are getting a resolution.
I like getting facials, so I have to keep this face together.
Lena Wesco has a $200 gift card from Studio 2000, a downtown spa that had been on the Circle for 30 years before it closed. After WRTV Investigates started asking questions and aired a story, Lena got a resolution.
Studio 2000 did honor the gift certificate.
She got this email on September 2nd from Studio 2000 with a list of local spas that will honor her gift certificate.
Thank you for your help in bringing this attention to, awareness to their closure.
The Attorney General's office says if a business closes suddenly, you can see if competitors will honor the gift card. If the company is filing for bankruptcy, file a claim with the bankruptcy court. You could get your money back that way. Also, keep your gift cards just in case the business reemerges after the pandemic. And Lena has this advice.
You want to be careful when you buy these gift cards because of the pandemic and what's going on in the world. These places may not be around, so you might want to try to use your gift cards as soon as possible.
An attorney for Studio 2000 says their top priority was finding jobs for the more than 20 people that worked there. Some of them now work here at the Columbia Club, also on Monument Circle, and will be honoring gift certificates from Studio 2000. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
Kara, thank you. An attorney for Studio 2000 says the spa is in the process of liquidating its remaining assets, which includes furniture, products, and fixtures. They anticipate providing a distribution to creditors. Now we do want to get another check of your forecast with Todd. Todd, it is sunny. It feels great outside. A good pool day if you have the day off.
Yeah, if your pool's still open, by all means, get out there and enjoy. The temperatures climbing up into the mid-80s in most locations with hardly a cloud in the sky. Here's a live look in Bloomington right now, and you can see all that sunshine and nothing but blue. There's not a cloud down there in southern locations, and that's the way it's been for the past few days as you've worked your way to the north. You have seen more in the way of not only clouds, but rain as well. In fact, many locations across northern Indiana so far this week have seen anywhere from 2 to even 4 inches of rain. Today, though, I think everybody remains dry. That is the good news. Temperatures in the 80s where the sun is out in full force, 83 in Greencastle as well as Indy, 84 in Connersville. As you work to the north, just a little more in the way of cloud cover. Temperatures in the mid-70s in Tipton and Lafayette, low 70s in Peru. But as soon as you get into some sunshine here throughout the next couple hours, we will see your temperatures warm up into the 80s very, very quickly. But look at how the nation is cut in half. From from the warmth to the east to the cool temperatures off to the west. Denver at this hour only at the freezing mark, 32 degrees. Even El Paso, Texas is down to 55 degrees right now, and we'll stay on the warm side of things. And as far as that cold air, you may be wondering if it's going to be heading in our direction. The answer is no. Yes, we are going to start to cool down. We're going to become more seasonable, but we are not expecting the temperatures to be in the 50s for highs or even the 30s for overnight lows. There's the current situation with the clouds moving out of northern locations. The storm track is still well to our north and off to our west. You notice how the rain is moving from Dallas to the north and then up and around to Minneapolis and eventually into Michigan. And that's because this area of high pressure to our south is keeping us high and dry for the day today. Highs will top off in the mid to upper 80s with the warmer temperatures to the south. This evening, if you have plans, you are just fine. We are in the 80s, eventually falling into the 70s once the sun sets. And then for the day tomorrow, start in the mid 60s. Tomorrow, there's more in the way of clouds. So instead of mostly sunny skies, it's partly cloudy. Still a very nice day. Temperatures as a result of the cloud cover just a little bit cooler in the 80s. But as we get into Friday and the weekend, Friday is going to be a pretty nice day. Yes, it's cooler, but it's going to be partly cloudy, low humidity, temperatures in the 70s. Can't really complain. Saturday, partly sunny. The chance of a spot shower does enter the forecast on Saturday, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a big deal for us. That's the good news. Definitely nothing to cancel any plans over. If you do have fall plans this weekend, Sunday 80 degrees with a spot shower, and then starting next week, it looks like we enter a beautiful stretch of weather, Nicole, with lots of sunshine, highs in the 70s, and great sleeping weather as well, as temperatures for overnight lows could potentially be in the low 50s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, that email or message may look like it's coming from a friend trying to score you a deal, but Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau says you need to look twice. It's probably just someone trying to steal your money.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different government grants and things like that out there. And here's what the scammers are doing. They're trying to rely on you believing friends and other associates you have either on Facebook or Instagram, and they're going to hack into someone's Facebook account or Instagram account. Once again, they're going to pose as that person, and they're going to say, hey, there's a government grant program out there. I just got $1,000 or $10,000, and I saw that your name was on that list. And if you apply for that grant, you're going to get the same money that I got. Well, once again, they're banking on the fact that this is a friend that you have on Facebook or Instagram or some other social media. You're going to believe that, and you're going to go ahead and apply for that. And then what's going to happen is there's always some upfront fees that you've got to pay in order to get that money. You're going to pay that, and nothing's going to happen. So once again, they're using Facebook. They're going to hack into someone's account. You're going to think it's a legitimate friend. And there's no government grants out there, no COVID-19 grants. This is just, once again, someone using Facebook as a way to fool you and try to get you to go someplace and give some money that, you know, just the grants and things like that just don't exist. So don't believe everything you hear from a friend on Facebook. You might want to contact them to make certain that whatever they said is really true.
All right, Tim, thank you. You can find out more about this scam by going to bbb.org. And still ahead, it's time to say goodbye to a friend here at WRTV. That plus one final check of your forecast coming up here on the News at Noon. Today is a bittersweet day. It is the final day of work for our friend and sports director, Dave First. Dave signs off today after 23 years with WRTV. But we are happy for him because he is leaving us for another dream job. Dave will be working with IndyCar as Vice President of Communications. So while we will still see Dave in his new position, he certainly will be missed here around the station. You can watch Dave's official send-off tonight on the news at 6, and Tada will really miss his storytelling.
I will too. I remember the old days when I was working weekends still and he was doing the Sports Extra show. So we wish him luck, and we're glad he's just going down 16th Street to IMS, so we'll see him often. All right, cooler temperatures head our way over the next few days as we turn more seasonable, partly cloudy tomorrow and Friday with highs in the upper 70s to low 80s. Spot shower chance over the weekend, but nothing to cancel plans over. And then a beautiful stretch of weather, Nicole, next week.
All right, Todd, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. Join us back here for the news at 5.